Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be testing out the new Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. I'm a foundation junkie, so I'm really excited. Honestly, there's a lot of foundations coming out right now, which is overwhelming me because I want to try them all out. But this is the one we're testing out today. I have not tried this out yet, so this is going to be like a first impression wear test. I am going somewhere later tonight, so this better hold up and look good because I want to look good. This is Fenty's second foundation. They have a more matte one and now they have a hydrating one, which I think is amazing. I generally tend to go towards more like natural satin hydrating foundations rather than super matte. Even though I have a few matte foundations that wear beautifully on my skin, I have a normal skin type. I don't get super dry or oily. Now the matte foundation for me, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Sometimes it wore okay and sometimes it just sat really weird on my skin, so it's kind of like a temperamental foundation. It's just something I didn't end up reaching for a lot. But this one, we shall see how this does. This is also low-key my very first PR package from Fenty Beauty, so I'm kind of excited. They also sent me the brush, which it feels amazing. It's beautiful. I can't wait to use this. They also sent me their little sponge. I've already washed and dampened this, so we're going to be using a brush and a sponge today with the foundation. And they also sent me the new hydrating primer. I haven't tried the original one they came out with, so we'll see. I don't know what to compare it to, but we are going to be testing this one out as well. They sent me 4 foundation shades. The lightest one I have is 180, and then I have 190, 200, and 220. The 200s are going to be a little bit too warm and dark for me, so these are the 2 lighter ones. 180 looks a little warmer, and then 190 is more on the neutral side. I feel like this one might match my tones a little bit better. We'll see. Hopefully the shade's not too dark. Originally, when I had the older foundation, it's not old foundation, the more matte one, I got the shade 170, but I feel like it was a little too light all over. Like it matched my neck, but it just looked a little too pale on my skin, so we shall see if 190 works. I want to test this primer out, but I also want to test the foundation without a hydrating primer underneath. So I'm only going to prime like half of my face with this so we can see if the primer makes a difference in the foundation throughout the day. It says that this primer adds instant hydration to the skin, soft silk finish with a filter-like effect, extending the makeup wear time. I really like the smell of it. I really like the feeling of this primer so far. I definitely see a difference between no primer and primer. My pores and like texture on my skin with the primer looks a lot softer, really smooth. I like this a lot. It feels really nice too. It doesn't feel tacky or too dry or even too dewy. For a hydrating primer, I think I was expecting it just to be like a little bit more like dewy, but I'm okay with like the way it does feel. It feels really nice, but it's not like matte, so it's the opposite of matte. As you can see, we have plenty to cover up on my skin today, which is fantastic. I'm going to use a sponge on this side. We're going to start off with the prime side. So again, I'm taking the shade 190. I really hope this matches. And here we go. Okay, so the color is a little bit dark. That's okay, we'll make it work. We will make it blend. We will bring it down to our belly button if we have to. That's kind of like one half pump thin layer. It pretty much just covered my cheek. It looks so pretty on the skin, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looks stunning. It looks very natural. Yeah, the color definitely doesn't match my neck, but it does match my body quite well. I do like the tone of it. It's not too warm. I am gonna bring it down my neck a little bit, but coverage is not too bad. I was actually expecting something more sheer. The consistency of the foundation is actually a lot thicker than I thought. I thought it was gonna be a lot more liquidy, but let me show you guys. Like, it's quite a thick foundation. Take some on my forehead and then build this foundation up a little bit, see how the buildup goes. The sponge is actually really nice too. It's like very squishy and soft. I haven't tried her sponges before, so this gets my approval. This is my skin with the foundation and without. I think it looks really pretty. I love the finish of this. It's not like so dewy where I feel like it's gonna melt off my face, but it definitely gives your skin a very healthy look, which I'm a fan of. Some foundations just feel a little too wet on the skin, and this does not at all. It looks very smooth, very flawless. Of course, I have a few little pesky blemishes peeking through a little bit, but I'll go back and spot conceal that. But for the most part, it has a really nice full medium coverage, I would say. And that's with the sponge. So now I'm gonna go into her brush, and I'm gonna take like one full pump here. Let's blend it out with the brush. Oh yeah. Oh wow, it feels so different with the brush. Gotta bring it down the neck. I like this brush. I really like this. This looks so beautiful on the skin. With the brush, it looks beautiful. With a sponge, it looks beautiful. I don't see like a huge difference between the application of both. It's just kind of your preference. I am going to build a little bit more on this side just because we did a little bit more on that side. I feel like I did get a little bit more coverage with the brush, but that's generally how it is. I wanted to show you guys a close-up on what my skin looks like with the foundation on. This is the primed side and this is without the primer. I think it still looks super beautiful and smooth on the skin. Of course, I have a lot of imperfections and texture on my skin, but the foundation is just sitting really, really pretty. So let the foundation sit on my skin for a few minutes and it hasn't done anything weird. I don't think the color's changed. I don't think it's like oxidized or anything, which is really nice. It hasn't creased anywhere or settled in any pores or lines or such. So now I'm gonna go into my concealer, and it's only fitting to use my Fenty Concealer. I have the shade 170. I'm gonna apply a little bit underneath my eyes because Lord knows I need it. I really like this concealer actually, and it's only fitting to use a Fenty Concealer, of course, because we're doing a Fenty face. Wow, that's really bright. I'm gonna take my Fenty Match Sticks in the shade Amber, and I'm just gonna do a little light contouring on my nose. So a really cool tone contour stick. I am gonna go in and set it because that's just what I do. I feel like I just want my makeup to stay put and not melt off. And I have somewhere to go later today, so it's still early in the day. I'm gonna be using my Elcie loose setting powder, and I'm gonna use the Fenty sponge to set my face. I just really wish I could be one of those people who could just wear a foundation and not set it. But I just can't do it. The face is set. It's definitely a lot more matte than without the powder, and I do love that dewy look, but I feel more locked into place, and I think it actually looks super pretty with powder as well. It looks very smooth. It hasn't done anything weird. There's no dry patches. I love this so far. Like, I'm really happy, you guys. Like, this looks stunning. I will do another close-up with powder on, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. This is what the skin looks like with the powder. Again, this is the prime side, and this is without the primer. I still think that with the primer, the skin still has like this really pretty luminous look to it. It's not completely like flat, which I really like as well. So yeah, I think it looks really good. I'm back with the rest of my makeup done. I have to say, makeup still looks beautiful, flawless. I'm loving it. I will say this side, I have like the smallest little smile line, and I have none on this side. I don't know if that's because of the primer, but I feel like the side with the primer, my skin looks a lot smoother. So maybe the primer really does make a difference in the skin, and now I really wish I put it all over my face. It is about 1:36 p.m. I'm gonna try and do like midday check-ins, but I am going to definitely be coming back and sharing with you guys how I feel at the end of the night. I am going somewhere tonight, so I will be wearing this foundation for quite a while. I really hope it holds up really nicely, fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys here. I will see you guys later. Hey guys, I'm back with my final check-in. It is almost 11:30 p.m., which means I have pretty much worn this foundation for about 11 hours, which I think is a pretty substantial amount of time to test out a foundation, and I have some thoughts. I'm gonna cut to the chase and keep it pretty short because I'm exhausted and I just want to wash my makeup off, but I'm gonna do like a pros and cons list and just lay down the facts for you guys real quick. Let's start with the pros. Overall, my skin looks really pretty. I haven't lost any of my coverage. The color of the foundation strangely looks really perfect with my skin. Like, it didn't do anything weird throughout the day. Like, it looks so smooth. It hasn't like clung anywhere. Clung? Is clung a word? Clung, right? I think so. Because it's more of like a hydrating foundation, I found that it got less cakey, and although my skin looks more oily or dewy than it usually does at the end of the night with other foundations, I actually don't mind it because it still looks really good and it hasn't like faded anywhere or like bunched up and dried up on my skin, which is really refreshing. So overall, my skin just looks really smooth. Like, I am very, very impressed. So normally I get creasing in between my brows, kind of on my forehead and my smile lines, and it's very, very minimal. For 11 hours specifically, it's very minimal. I do have very small little smile lines here. I think that's the only thing that I had throughout the day that I found myself just kind of like tapping my smile lines. But other than that, I gotta say, it's really looking good. I think I already said some of the cons. Minimal creasing and probably not the best foundation for oily skin people out there. If I got a little like dewy and shiny at the end of the night, I can imagine somebody who has really, really oily skin, I think you are going to be like wet. So I will definitely be wearing this foundation again. I'm gonna definitely test it out more, but I think just from like this first impression and 11-hour wear test, I'm very impressed. I'm very happy. I did have high hopes. I was really excited about it. It's good, it's good. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys like primer versus no primer. The only thing I can tell you is still like this side of my face with the primer is smooth. Like my pores look more filled, the texture looks nicer, like everything just looks softer. It's not like a crazy difference, but like I can see it, like I know. In terms of like the wearability of it, I don't see fading on either side. I did start getting smile line on this side more than that side early on. I don't know if that's like the primer or my face is crooked. Yeah, I actually really do like that primer and I can see myself using it again because I think my skin looks really, really pretty with it. Before I end the video, I want to do a little experiment and kind of like set my face and kind of get rid of the shine and see what happens because I didn't really blot my skin or powder and I normally never do. Although I don't mind this at all, I rather kind of look a little bit more shiny but have my makeup look really flawless and put together than like crusty and fading. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of powder and I'm gonna go on one side of my face and kind of see what happens. Oh, okay, well that looks really good. So if you just go in with a little bit of powder and like set your face throughout the day, if you are somebody who's a little bit more oily, then problem solved. It looks really good. It didn't do anything weird. My skin still looks nice and like glowy, but it's like set. It's not like wet. Whereas this side, I can see like, you know, what am I doing? I think I covered everything I can think of about this foundation. It's time to go sleep. I'm very excited. I'm glad this turned out the way it did. Let me know what you guys think about this foundation if you guys have tried it out. I know it's like really, really new. Is it even on the market yet? Is it? I think so. You can tell I did my research. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. As usual, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, mesijesibeauty, Instagram, MAKEUPBYJESI. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so before you go. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. Also hit that little bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. With all of that said, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!